Dear friend, I can't help discussing vector in my first classes because vector is very essential to understand physics and engineering. You can solve a lot of problems with minimum steps using vector analysis or vectors. So, vector is our starter. Well, let us see. Let us begin. You are familiar with a lot of physical quantities. What is a physical quantity? Let me suggest a few things. The mass, length, force, time, love. In this group, love stands alone. You can measure mass using a balance. Length you can measure using a measuring tape. Spring balance is useful to measure force. Time can be measured by a timer, that's a watch or a clock. But how will you measure love? Is there a love meter? Love meter. Till today, there is no such a machine to measure love. But we can feel it. So, the things I have mentioned except love, you can measure directly or indirectly, which we will discuss. Direct measurement and indirect measurement we will discuss in the course of time. Oh, there are two kinds of when someone makes a mention of a physical quantity. Two questions will arise. Two questions will arise in your inquisitive mind. One is how much? The second is in which direction? If a quantity is if a quantity is responsive to the first question only, such a quantity is known as scalar quantity or simply scalar. Suppose someone asks me, what is your age? I say, I am 65 years of old. Age is time. Nobody will ask me whether it is eastward, westward, upward, downward, or something like that. No one with good sense, normal sense will ask such an idiot question. That means time is having only magnitude. Scalar, scale, simply means size or magnitude. When I say that mass of a book is 200 gram and mass of an elephant is 5 ton or 5,000 kilogram, you can visualize the difference in size of the elephant and the book. That is the magnitude. But I state that I exerted a force of 10 Newton. Oh, you will ask me, how much? I say that I exerted 10 Newton force. You are not satisfied with my answer. You will again ask, in which direction did you apply the force? I have a duty to answer that question. I will say that I exerted that 10 Newton force in a definite direction, say eastward, westward, upward, downward, or something like that. Suppose two persons are sitting on either side of me. If I exert 10 Newton force towards the left, the man on my left side experiences that force. If I apply the same force towards right, the man on my right side experiences the force. See the difference in effects? So such quantities which are responsive to both the questions, how much and in which direction. Such quantities are called vector quantities. Scalar means size. You may be familiar with the usage scale up, scale down, and so on. So, scalar quantity, you can express it completely, or its description becomes complete when you state its magnitude alone. But description of a vector quantity is complete when you state its magnitude and direction. Well, vector is a word of Latin origin which means carrier. We will see that vector is an informative figure. You can represent pictorially a vector quantity. That figure carries two properties. One, magnitude, and the other, direction. That is why the name vector given to such quantities. We will see a lot of vector quantities and scalar quantities, mass, time, length. All these are scalar quantities. When I say that A stick is 1 meter long. You won't ask me is it whether it is eastward or westward or something like that. So that description is complete. But vector means it is you get the complete information when you are given the two properties, that is magnitude and direction. When you change the direction, effect of that quantity also changes. Now, I'm going to discuss in some detail the branch of mathematics called vector analysis in a few discourses. They say mathematics is an endorsed check in the hands of physicists and engineers. Without a proper knowledge of mathematics, you can't go into the depth of physics or study engineering. And of course, there are certain other branches, chemistry and such like subjects. We will see vector in an interesting manner. You can enjoy it. I'm quite sure about it. So please wait for that. Thank you a lot.